On today's show, we've got a rundown of what to expect from the DC TV lineup next season, so get ready for DC All Access. What's up, guys? I'm Whitney Moore, and it is time for DC Nation, where we spotlight some of today's essential issues with the writers themselves.
I am Julie Benson.
And I am Shawna Benson.
And we are writing Green Arrow.
This person. Yes. The premise for this issue is that, it starts with sort of day in the life stuff, right? We're just fighting crime in Seattle, but we've created a new villain, and this villain's name is the Citizen, and he sort of represents, turning up the thoughts on justice to 11. Yeah, vengeance and justice. Where's the line between those two things? And that's really what the arc is about as well, because you've got Green Arrow, who is a vigilante. The Citizen doesn't think that Green Arrow is a very effective vigilante. He's not really doing his job, taking down the rich and powerful, in his opinion, and that needs to be amped up. And so, who gets caught in the middle of that? Who's the rich and powerful person in Seattle? It's Oliver Queen. So he's getting squeezed from both sides for both of his personas.
At first, he kind of sees Citizen do this live broadcast and thinks, you know what, I could use a little help. Sure, go ahead and put these people on blast and I'll go find them. And then when the tables turn and it's directed at him, it's that, oh boy moment, right? So then it's, oh wait, I think I misjudged this person. He's not just being a vigilante and turning them in. He wants to play judge, jury, and executioner. And that's where the difference between Oliver Queen vigilante and the Citizen, yeah.
I'm Joelle Jones, and I work on Catwoman. Well, Catwoman 2 begins right out of issue 1. Her getting more enveloped into what the villain's up to and getting kind of stuck in that world and finding her way out. I'm actually really excited about the villain. I find her just disgusting to draw, which is really fun for an artist. She's very politically motivated and really underhanded, whereas if Selena Kyle's very good at physically fighting, I wanted her to have an opponent that didn't physically fight, that could fight her on an intellectual level, something that might be more difficult for her to take on. Catwoman is such a great character because she really plays in that gray area between being good and bad. She's complicated, she's messy. She doesn't have a strict moral code like Bruce Wayne and like Batman. I think the question of how she makes decisions in certain circumstances is what makes her interesting, because there is a gray area of we don't know exactly how she's going to react to certain situations, and I think that there's a lot of good storytelling in those moments.
My name is Sam Humphries, and I am the writer of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I'm John Timms, and I'm the artist of Harley Quinn.
Issue 47 is the climax, the conclusion, the big explosion that happens at the end of our Harley Quinn and Apocalypse arc, and we find out sort of the fate, the resolution of Harley's adventure on Apocalypse, or misadventure. Right off the bat, we wanted to bring Harley back to the core of the DCU, back closer to the core of what's going on in the DC universe all the time, and bringing her to Apocalypse was a statement. It wasn't just a cool story idea, but it was a statement, because what else is more quintessentially DC Universe than Apocalypse, right? And seeing her basically disrupt that and destroy that and have fun with that in a quintessentially Harley way. Harley is like she's like the Bugs Bunny of the DCU. She can go anywhere and talk to any character and fight any villain and still be herself, 100% be herself. They all remain who they are, as if you'd seen them in any other DC Comics book. But because you see them with Harley and you see them through her eyes, we see these characters, these environments, these bad guys in new light. We threw everything into that one,
Exactly.
And it's very big and bombastic, and John did an amazing job. He handles that big Kirby action epicness, but also like the really hardcore emotional beats of Harley Quinn. Like you just see it on her face all the time, and good job.
Thank you.
Good job.
Well, it was really cool, and I really enjoyed doing, especially issue 47. It's really epic, I think. Harley has such a great range of graphic possibilities. I mean, she could be really cartoony, but just in the next panel be really serious. So for an artist, it's a challenge to try to work that out. But yeah, that's the main thing with Harley.
Those are some of this week's must-reads, and here is a full list of the new DC comics out today. There's more cool stuff coming out of every corner of the DCU, and we did the work for you to find out what you need to know. The Death of Superman features one of the biggest blockbuster battles in Man of Steel's history. The heartbreaking movie is a hit with fans, so make sure you pick it up on Blu-ray starting next Tuesday. Warner Brothers World Abu Dhabi is officially open, with Batman and Superman starring in 2 of the park's 6 immersive worlds. There are 29 rides, shows, and attractions to take in, so if a trip to Abu Dhabi is in your future, make sure a visit to Warner Brothers World is on your itinerary. On the DC Collectibles side, there is a slew of statues and action figures coming this month. The new Teen Titans #1 cover by George Perez has been reimagined as a stunning 7-part statue, and you can get started with Robin the Boy Wonder and Starfire, the Princess of Tamaran. On top of that, the latest addition to the DC CoverGirls line by Joelle Jones catches the Batgirl of Burnside in selfie mode. Plus, Brian Bolland's Batman design from The Killing Joke is getting the DC Designer Series treatment, and the Joker is obviously up to no good in a new PVC statue. And finally, the Harley Quinn Expressions Pack captures the many moods of the Clown Princess of Crime from Batman the Animated Series. Lastly, the King of the Seven Seas landed a starring role in the new LEGO DC movie. The story sees Arthur Curry battling a Red Lantern invasion to retain his Atlantean throne, and we got our hands on an exclusive clip.
Aquaman, Lois Lane of the Daily Planet. It looks like you really, as we professional journalists say, got your tail fin handed to you by the main man, Lobo.
No need to worry, Miss Lane. I'll just call for backup, using my aqua telepathic powers to summon my fellow water creatures here at Dread Lake.
But Dread Lake is a dry lake bed.
Well, that would be challenging then, wouldn't it? So much for plan A, B, and C. No matter, I am still really strong. And,
That's the news for now, but we'll be back with our DC TV preview right after the panel of the week. The next season of DC TV is shaping up to be a real barn burner, and we've got the stars of your favorite shows here to spill the details on what we can expect in the fall.
So in the season 7 premiere, my character, all the characters really, are trying to figure out how life is going to go without Oliver.
We're going to dive right into, where we left off. Oliver's in prison.
And John Diggle is visiting Oliver in prison, giving him an update on what's going on the trail that has gone cold of Diaz.
And I think they're all looking at themselves as heroes and as vigilantes a little bit differently because of the sacrifice that he's made for the team.
Our theme this year is redemption. So for me, Wild Dog's always lived in a place of redemption. He's wasn't dealt the greatest hands growing up, so now we're gonna find where else he needs to be, especially as a dad.
Roy is not the same. It's a way different Roy. I'm still pretty shocked about what I'm doing, but I'm really excited.
We have to find out how to step up. We don't have our leader there, so the hierarchy is kind of off kilter. So we got to do what we do best, but keep it under wraps.
They obviously have different leadership qualities and styles, but the relationship is very, very strong, and you see that at the very top of 701.
I've spent the better part of a decade with the crew, and we have a lot of people that were there right from the pilot. So, it's great. It always feels like going home.
I think this year is going to be if you can possibly imagine Legends being even more out there and jumping the shark, this year is going to be that's nuts.
At the beginning of the season, Ray's kind of happy that we think we've solved things for once, and we find out that we haven't. We've made a bigger problem, maybe.
You know, Constantine warned us, there's this thing out there are these things out there, and so it becomes the Legends' task to clean up their own mess.
There's a lot of magical creatures, which we're calling magical fugitives, and let's just say there's been a lot of animals on set already, and I think there's going to be more, and it's going to be an exciting one and a little bit different than other seasons.
What was great is like all the comics that I've read, there's all these different relationships which I would know how to approach because they're all in the comics. These are relationships that have not been explored in the comics, so they're being discovered, and it's kind of a new element and a new challenge for me playing John. It's kind of one of the reasons why I was so enthusiastic to join the Legends.
I'm playing a character called Charlie, who is a magical fugitive who's like slipped through to this dimension when Malus broke. So the question is, are they going to allow her to stay? Why is she even here? She definitely plays with the line of good and evil, and it's going to be a massive shift from Amaya, which I'm really excited about.
So ultimately this season we've got these two powerhouse women, which I love, and trying to love each other, trying to run these powerhouse, you know, the Wave Rider and the Time Bureau and keep things in place.
We're kind of seeing that Sarah's building a life, that she's starting to feel good about who she is, what she's done, and like maybe she's not such a screw up, and that's all going to kind of get put in jeopardy.
Well, all our characters are all over the place. Seg has fallen into the Phantom Zone. Adam is in the bottled city of Detroit that was conquered by Zod but then taken by Brainiac. And of course you have everyone left on Krypton. Nissa's learned that she's a clone. Lyta is to deal with the ramifications of thinking that she murdered her mother. Who knows where Jaina is? So all of these characters have been sort of torn asunder. Every single relationship is in a massive state of flux. But we start out our show 5 months after Zod has taken control of Krypton. So that's where we begin.
Well, this season we're introducing Lobo, which we're very excited about. He's obviously an iconic character, and it'll be the first time we'll see Lobo in live action. And we were lucky enough to get an opportunity to do Brainiac for the first time in live action last season, and Adam Strange. And so now we have Lobo. So that's one I think I'm excited about bringing him to life.
Season 2 picks up about a week after the premiere, the finale's events, and so we're still kind of trying to put our lives back together again after what has transpired. My character is trying to pick up some of the pieces from those repercussions and trying to, in a sense, play house, trying to be normal. But because we've seen the pod and the pod people and kind of introduce meta villains, there's going to be more meta villains, and so many things have changed. It's not going to be very easy to be normal.
That's it for this episode, but remember to pre-order your membership for the DC Universe subscription service right now so you can take advantage of all the exclusive content when it launches this fall. For all the info you need, head on over to DCUniverse.com. See you next time.